That's it. It's
a little bit gloomy this evening.
It is. I know. We had some sun earlier, and now the sun has gone bye-bye. Still not bad for a cruise.
Yeah, not too bad. And we've got a few hours yet before some of those storms potentially reach us.
Right.
Just a chance at this point.
Yeah. It's looking, I mean, a lot of the activity is kind of sliding to the east, southeast, and so it might skirt us.
Yeah.
It's possible that a large chunk of the area misses out.
Yeah.
Maybe far northeastern Illinois. We'll see.
Maybe.
Lake County, McHenry County, but
we're keeping an eye on it.
We are watching it, yes. There have been numerous tornado warnings.
Yeah. Welcome to the Forecasters. I'm Alyssa Donovan, here with Bill Snyder. We've got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yes, we do. Don't we always, though?
We
always have lots to talk about.
Of course.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I want to get to? We're talking about tornado warnings up in Wisconsin.
Right.
Illinois and Indiana, we are breaking records, and not in the way that you want to.
Right.
So here's a look. Record tornado year.
Yep.
For both states now.
Yep.
So we've reached 205 with our tornado count in Illinois.
Right.
Previously 142.
Obliterated it.
That was back in 2024. That was a big year.
It was. It was a big year.
Yeah.
But this year, as I've been saying to everybody, I said this year it's on steroids.
Well, and you also looked up some of the national records.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
So I had talked to one of the forecasters who was actually an intern of ours many, many years ago, now one of the lead forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center, and he tells me and confirms it for me that the national record is 242 in Texas back in 2015, and we're at 205 right now. It's not that far away. I mean,
closer than we'd like to be, I'd
Exactly.
say.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all it takes, you get one storm outbreak, and I mean, we know as we get later into summer and into fall, when these air masses are battling it out.
Yet.
We're not done. No, I wish I could say we were, but we're not.
Yeah, Indiana also has broken their previous record. 84 tornadoes so far in Indiana this year. Previously, the record there was 72, and that was back in 2011.
Yeah.
And in the corner of that graphic, it's a little small, but the National Weather Service, Romeoville, Chicago, Northwest Indiana area also has broken a record.
Yep.
Previous record was 63 in that area back in 2024 tornadoes.
Right.
We're now at 71.
Yeah, and counting. So, we'll see. I mean, Demetrius and I have this discussion all the time, and he calls it, comparing apples to apples because, I'd like to go investigate it, and I will do this, and we'll talk about it on a future show, but how many of those 205 tornadoes have been EF0s?
Yeah.
Because we just implemented the EF0s into the system back in the
new.
90s.
Yeah,
in the 1990s. So pre-1990s, they were just counted as straight line wind damage. So interesting.
Yeah. So and I'm sure there'd be some interesting findings there.
Yeah.
But we are tracking some showers and thunderstorms moving mainly across Wisconsin right now.
Yeah.
So we have some severe thunderstorm warnings as well as a tornado warning in a portion of Wisconsin. That looks like that's just moving in to Kenosha County, if I'm seeing that right. So we're keeping an eye on things. As of now, what we're expecting from this system, probably some stronger wind gusts out of those storms that move across the Illinois border tonight, possibility of some heavy rainfall and frequent lightning, but most of the strong activity is actually across Wisconsin right now and moving into really the lake.
Right, which is good news.
Yeah, which is good news for us. I just wanted to bring that up in case we had been added to that severe thunderstorm watch. We have not.
No.
So that's good news for us. Still the possibility,
yeah.
But something that we're keeping an eye on. Here's a look at some storm reports from this evening.
Wind damage.
Some damaging wind gusts.
Some marginal hail. But
yeah, we saw some wind gusts up to about 67 miles per hour. That was in the La Crosse area.
Right.
Dew points have gone up close to the Wisconsin border as well.
Yeah.
Upper 60s, low 70s. Little fuel there for some thunderstorms as they move in.
Right. So we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're 76 right now. So, moderately humid. I mean, we've last week we saw a lot worse. I mean, dew points were well into the 70s, and that continued to fuel our 6 consecutive days of storm eruptions across the metro area.
Yeah.
High of 81, pretty much right about where you'd expect things to be this time of the year.
That's where we like to be.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, similar to what we saw today. Some partly sunny skies, but then by the afternoon, maybe a spot shower or thunderstorm.
Yeah,
chance.
can't rule it out just because there'll still be enough humidity in the air to pop a shower or storm, especially if we get a little bit of sunshine. So
now you heard something last night,
I
or
heard
you didn't hear it.
No, I didn't hear it, but I heard all about it from others, from a bunch of my friends. Yeah, there was a rude awakening at about 3 o'clock this morning. People woke to the sound of tornado sirens.
Did you hear it? Did you hear it at home?
Yeah, if you're watching us from DuPage County, and you might have heard it.
Did it wake you up?
Did it wake you up? So tornado sirens were activated at 3 in the morning in DuPage County because officials in Downers Grove say their siren was set off inadvertently during a test of the system. They were trying to, simplify a system for future storm outbreaks, but the sirens could be heard in several western suburbs, including Elmhurst, Downers Grove, Naperville, Hinsdale, Woodridge, so just to name a few. But yeah, wow, given the fact that we're kind of we're a little storm fatigued right now. I noted a couple of people that I talked to today, they thought, oh, should I go to the basement, or was I supposed to go to the basement? And one of them looked outside, didn't hear anything, and saw the stars and figured, oh, something's got to be a mistake.
Okay. Unfortunate, because they've been working so hard this severe weather season.
Right.
And that's just unfortunate. Well, people have probably scared them a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
Some news out of Northwest Indiana once again today. They are still dealing with the storm cleanup. A Northwest Indiana school that was battered twice by that severe weather this summer is back open. So some good news for us. Yeah. Andrian High School in Merrillville reopened its doors today with a new look. Inside, classrooms have an open concept along with new desks and devices. Crews worked around the clock to renovate the school after a tornado destroyed windows, flooded hallways, and ripped off parts of the roof back in June. Everything needed to be replaced. Then, last week's storm forced the school to delay the first day. But today, they finally got to welcome students.
I think seeing the smile on the kids' faces and the purpose on the faculty's faces, it just gives you a lot of motivation and inspiration to keep moving forward.
Several districts in Northwest Indiana are still dealing with power outages. Gary Schools says it will remain closed tomorrow while crews continue to assess building conditions and address safety concerns.
And it's now been 1 week since tornadoes and a confirmed derecho raked the area, and thousands of people in Northwest Indiana are still without power, and frustration is mounting. Downed trees with power lines still tangled in them are a familiar sight in the area. In Portage, Mayor Austin Bonta tells us power is back on for about half of his city residents.
We're not authorized to touch it because our guys are not qualified to do it in a way that we can guarantee their safety. We've got to wait for the power company to come and turn the electricity off, make sure that it's safe to touch.
The utilities' own data showed an increase in outages today from 93,000 to 98,000. Officials say the intermittent outages happen when workers de-electrify the system to make repairs. Power to roughly 272,000 customers has been restored.
Oh, see, that's some good news.
That is some good news.
I know a lot of people are still struggling, but it's always good when you hear about some restoration.
Right.
Indiana homeowners recovering from severe weather are also gaining protections from the insurance industry. Governor Mike Braun issued a directive calling on insurance companies to implement a 60-day moratorium on canceling any policy on holders directly impacted by the storms. It also called for suspending any penalties for late payments. The governor also announced that emergency housing assistance will be available for people displaced due to the disaster. This will be done through emergency hotel vouchers and disaster rental assistance.
And here in Illinois, just before we came on the air to join you folks, we received word that Governor J.B. Pritzker issued a state disaster proclamation covering 15 counties in the wake of our severe weather this summer. It makes additional state resources, including financial assistance and grants, as well as personnel available to help people recover.
Very good news there.
Yes, for sure.
So this is some pretty good video, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a nod from BJ. Lightning is to blame for an explosion at a pipeline facility. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Amazing.
The blast and fire in Glenpool, Oklahoma forced the evacuation of nearby businesses and residences, a shelter-in-place order at schools as well. You can see in this footage captured by an observer the thick plumes of black smoke and insane, a huge, look at that, huge fireball.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
A piece of a tank is visible flying through the air. I was kind of wondering what that was.
Yeah.
Responding fire crews were able to take care of this fire and no injuries were reported. That is great news and sort of incredible when you look at this video.
Yeah.
But it's another reminder of the power in the unpredictability of lightning.
Absolutely. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Many things can cause wildfires, from chains dangling off a truck to a tree hitting a power line. This video is from last year's deadly Eaton fire in Southern California. It was sparked by electricity arcing from equipment, and that ignited dry vegetation. In Texas, utilities are adding more power infrastructure, increasing the risk of fire. Researchers at UT Austin have developed a possible solution. KXAN's Eric Henriksen takes a closer look at how a tiny silver box could help save lives across the state. Check this out.
The 2024 Smokehouse Creek Fire, the largest wildfire in Texas history, sparked by a downed power line. It's a threat that could repeat itself.
If you have bad weather, the tree branch can break, stay there on the power line, and of course it will cause an outage, potentially a wildfire, and it can escalate to a more severe scenario.
Pablo Paz with UT Austin's Center for Electromechanics is leading the creation of these remote power line sensors.
A lot of the rural co-ops don't have the extent of monitoring capabilities that we have in the urban areas.
Shannon Strank, deputy director of the center, said the devices draw power directly from the line, allowing them to be installed in remote areas without needing an external power source.
Some of the most dangerous time for their operators are when they're in the truck trying to find a problem. So these sensors actually communicate with each other over a cellular modem, and they are able to triangulate where a problem is happening.
During a month-long field test near Seguin, the sensor detected 34 potential problems, compared to just 3 detected by traditional monitoring equipment. Testing the sensor required a special robot, built to simulate even the slightest touch by a tree.
If we detect when the tree branch is momentarily touching, right, we can inform the utility workers, right, and say, okay, there is a tree branch that will cause you problem in the future.
We're just being pushed in this direction as we have increasingly more power electronics in front of our various assets on the grid.
In Austin, Eric Henriksen, KXAN News.
BJ Cam.
Let's go to BJ Cam. I'm watching. I'm looking at the radar.
Bill's looking at the radar.
I'm looking at the radar. Yes.
Hey,
Yes,
everyone.
I am.
Hey, BJ.
Yeah, we were talking.
Welcome, BJ. Happy Tuesday. Yes.
Yeah. Hey, we were talking at the top of the show about rain and severe weather and everything.
Yeah.
You mentioned storm fatigued. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But, you know, here in Chicagoland, we are fortunate to enjoy all 4 seasons.
We get all of
We
them.
do.
So,
Even the
And
ones we
BJ
don't
enjoys.
want.
BJ even enjoys one of our baseball teams.
I knew
too.
knew where you were going with that. But again, we want to pull in some interactivity into this show. This is not a trivia question. This is just another gut check question as you
Right,
get to
gut
know us and we get to know you.
Yeah.
So, would you rather, let me pull that up here.
Given the fact that the Cubs and Sox are playing right now in the Crosstown Classic, you know, and we know that we have a wide range of weather in Chicago for baseball games in Chicago. Would you prefer 45 degrees with a howling northeast wind creating wind chills in the 30s? Or would you rather be out at Wrigley Field at 95 degrees with high humidity?
Okay, just clarification for me. Does this have to be I'm sitting and watching a baseball game weather, or is it just like out and about weather?
No, this has to be
Just
at,
wanna
you have
get
to
the
be at Wrigley.
specifics, you guys.
You have to be at Wrigley Field.
Okay.
Or
Out in the
or the
elements.
rate.
Or
the
the
rate.
rate. You
Or
gotta
the
be
rate.
at one of the
You're at
locales.
one of the ballparks.
One of the packs.
And because we know that we deal with a wide array of weather for our baseball teams in Chicago, you know, especially in the beginning of the season.
I already know which one I'm going to pick.
I know.
So anyway, head to WGNTV.com/theforecasters. There's a code on the right side of your screen. You can scan that and we'll take you right to where you need to go. Again, there's no right or wrong answer here.
No,
we're just
there isn't.
doing
We're
a little
just-
gut check
we're
before
doing
you.
a little- yeah, we are. We want to know what you
Oh,
what
Bill's
you
going to
got.
get the QR code.
That's it.
You got it? He's got it. All right, he's going to vote.
That's
okay,
it.
while you're doing that, I'm going to talk about Lake Powell,
Powell, yeah.
and Lake Mead.
Right.
So we reported last week on Lake Mead, the nation's largest reservoir, and its record low water table. Well, the nation's second largest reservoir just reached that same unfortunate milestone. Water levels on Lake Powell on Saturday fell to about 3,500 feet above sea level. Isn't that incredible?
That is incredible.
Oh,
that
my gosh.
really is. Yeah.
That breaks the previous low that was set 3 years ago.
Right.
And officials say that the reservoir is about 30 feet away from the level it can no longer generate power. So this is causing some major problems.
Yep.
The plummeting water levels on both reservoirs pose a major threat to the Colorado River Basin. A key resource, this is for wildlife, hydropower, and more than 40 million people across 7 states. So this is not only a minor issue, this is a huge issue. So we're going to continue to monitor that.
Yes, we are. And Lake Mead's dropping water level means previously hidden secrets continue to be revealed. Over the weekend, remains confirmed to be human were found along one of the lake's beaches. Photos of the remains include a jawbone with what appears to be fillings. Other bones were found nearby. This is not the first time human remains have been found in Lake Mead. 4 years ago, remains were found in a barrel. Investigators said the person died from a gunshot in the 1980s. Investigations into that case, as well as the new bone discovery, are currently ongoing.
Oh
How
my
about
gosh,
that?
I have so many questions about
I'm
those.
telling you.
Mystery.
Wow.
Look at this video. A pair of manatees are back in the ocean after a heroic effort by firefighters. This was just last night. The marine mammals became beached for several hours in New Smyrna Beach, and it took several firefighters working together to haul the manatees back into the water. An average adult measures 10 feet long and weighs about 1,000 pounds, according to the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission. So that took some real brute strength to get that done.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, we were going to take a quick break as we look at our beautiful skyline here. We've got more stories coming up. We bet on weather, some beautiful pictures from our viewers, and the complete updated forecast coming up. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we've been getting so much rain.
We have.
But if you look off to the west, and even really in areas to the north and south of us, we are seeing severe, extreme, and even exceptional drought in portions of Colorado.
It's hard to believe.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And with those drier than normal conditions around a large part of the country, farmers are trying to make every drop of rain count. I wish we could just ship some of ours.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah, Grace Gates with our station in Lubbock, Texas, she checks out some new technology that's being designed at Texas Tech University to help them shuttle some of that rain.
So in the dry years such as this one, you are stressing the aquifer out to the max at this point of time.
There's not enough water coming out of the sky, so we pull from the ground, the Ogallala Aquifer.
The amount of water that we had in the previous decades is not what we have right now, just because we do not have the same rate of recharge.
95% of that groundwater pumped is used for irrigated agriculture, according to the Texas Water Development Board.
You cannot have a blanket solution for the region, so you always look at a tailored solution for each of these producers.
Texas Tech researchers are developing sensors that can help farmers make every drop count.
So this is called the autonomous pivot. It captures the soil moisture. It also has camera that monitors the health condition of the vegetation. So it's more of a precision irrigation technology that allows us to apply the right amount of water at the right location and at the right time.
These, along with sensors that measure how much water is transpiring out of the plants and into the atmosphere.
The overall goal of this research is also to scale up because we are leveraging on the Open-ET satellites by NASA that measures the evapotranspiration for the entire region.
All in an effort to make sure we have enough water, food, and fiber to last.
We are all sipping water from the same cup. Hopefully the entire community gets a buy-in into the conservation efforts, just because then you can conserve that whole cup of water for everybody to sip from well into the future.
Grace Gates, KMAC News.
It's that time of the show, my favorite time. We bet on weather, and our viewers do too, and they have gotten really good at it. So this week, James Papa Star, one of our previous winners, Papa Star, he's going to Mexico, not the country, but we're going to Mexico, Missouri. So submit your prediction for the 10 a.m. Friday temperature at Mexico, Missouri, and you have that in by midnight Thursday night, and we'll have the leaderboard on Friday, and you get to pick next week if you are lucky enough to be the winner. So
Coolio.
How about that? Good stuff.
All right, let's look at some pictures.
Couple pictures, yeah.
Margaret O'Toole said her magnolia bush blooming for the second time this year.
Isn't that pretty?
This is in Justice, Illinois.
I know how much you love those blooming flowers.
Flowers.
Yes, and this is another one you'll like, huh? Erica Ohlendorf of Lowell, Indiana, she caught a close-up of this deer enjoying dinner out of her bird feeder. Look at that, having a little snack.
That's not for you, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
And then Thomas, he captured the waxing crescent moon. This was from Elgin. Gorgeous shot, Thomas.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
Send your photos into WGNTV.com/theforecasters. We'll feature them here and on our WGN programs. And we're going to take a quick break. But we will be right back with the complete forecast, so stay with us. Well, have you been sneezing a lot lately? Because
I know you have.
I have the last few days, and well, here it is. This is probably a good reason for it. Our friends at Loyola Medicine provide us the allergy report every day, and they report to us that the mixed weeds are high, the mold is high, the mold has been high for several days now, and ragweed has now entered the scene. It just entered about a week ago, and it is currently at the moderate level, and unfortunately, that doesn't usually peak until the first week in September, so be dealing with that. Little hay fever season.
Ragweed in the house.
Ragweed in the house.
We didn't invite you.
We did not. That's good. I like that.
Yeah, so we're tracking some showers and storms
We are.
this evening. Those are over Wisconsin right now.
Yep.
Strongest activity is probably pushing onto the lake, but we have the potential of a few stronger thunderstorms, mainly across our northern counties, maybe
Right.
McHenry and
And
Lake.
Lake.
We're keeping an eye out for some stronger wind gusts there.
Yep.
But those are going to approach probably after about 7 or 8 p.m. I guess it is 7:30.
7:30, so yeah, probably after 8 p.m.
Yeah, so probably after about
At
8
8
p.m.
o'clock, right.
And then tomorrow we're going to see a little sunshine again earlier in
Yep.
the day.
Maybe a little pop-up shower
Maybe
here
a
and
little
there.
pop-up shower for your
Storm.
Wednesday,
Yep.
but overall nicer day
Thursday,
for us.
gorgeous. Thursday.
Chef's kiss.
We need that one, don't
Low
we? Thursday.
humid.
Upper 70s.
We like.
Small chance of a shower or storm on Friday, and then we pave the way for a gorgeous weekend.
Look at that
and I
weekend
think we've earned it.
forecast.
We've earned
Looking
it.
fab.
We do need it, yes.
Let's
go to
talk
BJ.
about the pole, Beach.
Beach, what do you say? Let's about it.
I'm a little surprised.
Are you? Okay.
I
I
forgot
got
to
a feeling
vote,
where we're
but
going.
I'll just tell you guys what I would have.
I know.
What'd you choose?
You
I would've
chose
picked
45.
45.
I figured you would have.
Yeah.
I know.
And Bill's the heat miser.
Yes, I know your tolerance for
I don't like
heat.
it. I
You
don't
don't
like
like
it
it.
hot. I
No.
like to wear a coat.
Okay.
You're like me. You like to wear clothes.
I like to wear clothes. Ooh, crazy.
I feel like I can always put more stuff on.
Layers on layers
And when
on
it's super
layers.
hot, you just
We don't get a lot of those days, so here we go.
But here's the result.
That's it. Interesting.
Okay, that is like a straight. That is like wow.
Yeah.
We are straight down the middle almost there.
Yeah, but definitely a slight lean towards the 45 degrees.
Yeah,
so.
because everyone probably feels like we do. You know, Bill.
Well, most of you
BJ
do.
and I are
Yeah.
probably in the logical.
Yeah.
Lane
I guess
of
you know
life.
what? I guess I mean if I had to choose 45 and I had a ticket for a World
Well, you
Series
go
game,
no matter what.
I would
That's not
go.
the
I would go, but yeah, but that's no. The point is
You're
our
going no
the
matter
point is
what
the
the
point
weather
is
is.
the point is your preference, right?
Yeah.
So interesting, a slight bias towards the colder weather. So that's interesting.
I think that is exactly
Football weather in
normal.
football weather at a baseball game.
I think you
Yeah.
can put on a jacket, you can put on
Right.
some sweatshirts,
Sure.
throw on a cute little Cubs hat or
Mhm.
Sox hat.
Yep. Hey,
Very
look at
nice.
that. As we leave you tonight, we're going to show you a beautiful,
Gorgeous.
gorgeous shot of our beautiful city, the best skyline in the country. I may be biased, but that's what
I agree. And not shot today, obviously.
I was gonna
But-
say,
Yeah, we
like,
didn't have
when
that much
is
sun.
this?
Still very nice.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, really cool. So thank you for joining us. We will be back with you again tomorrow night for another episode of The Forecasters. The sports office is next. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone.